Well, hello, my paranormal peeps, and welcome back to another Deep Woods Paranormal Podcast. My name is Matt Harvey. I am the host of the Deep Woods Paranormal Podcast. I'm also the lead investigator and founder of Deep Woods Paranormal. So today, I want to quickly just go over a couple of things, and then we'll get right into the podcast. I'm not going to keep hammering away at these things. A couple of people have commented and said, we don't really want to hear about all that. We do want to hear about that stuff, but we don't want you to spend so much time on it. So we're going to make some changes. Let me share my screen with you real quick. Because we have so many new people on the podcast, either video or audio, I wanted to go through and show you guys a few things. This is our YouTube channel. All of our links are on. If you're watching the video either here or on Rumble, all of the links are down below to everything. Our Facebook account, our audio podcast. If you want to listen to audio podcast, you don't want to watch it. In Facebook and all that fun stuff. So, real quick, we've got some new shorts. This one just came out about 18 hours ago. So that came out yesterday. And then now we have the next Wednesday and Friday. I've got a couple more paranormal shorts for you guys, and I'm going to keep shooting these in between the podcasts. Maybe we'll do a quick one on the ghost box that we just bought, and maybe we'll do some shorts on the haunted objects and stuff like that. But I want to talk about the haunted objects today. All right, real quick. Manscaped. If you come over to manscaped.com, the link again is in the bottom. If you choose to buy something, please put in DWP. That stands for Deep Woods Paranormal, and that'll get you a nice little discount. All right, so we are going to stop sharing that screen. And also, what I'm going to do, I'm going to share. Oops. Don't know what I just did. Where did the podcast go? All right. Let me share my screen again with you guys. Here we go. There we go. Okay. So now I am sharing. This is the Deep Woods Paranormal office. I'll blow this up. All right. So a couple minutes ago, if you're watching here, you could see in the last podcast before I deleted it because it just wasn't what I wanted. It's 4 a.m, so bear with me. But there was a shadow that was in the hallway. And so here's another angle. I'm going to put this camera actually above where I am here. There's shelves above me with different things on it. But I'm going to put that camera up there facing out this way so it catches pretty much everything you see now, but at a different angle. And you'll be able to see over me. You'll be able to see these haunted objects. For example, I'm going to go through them all today, kind of introduce them and stuff like that. Now, the Raggedy Ann doll, that is not what I consider a haunted object yet. I don't know if that Raggedy Ann doll has any kind of attachment or anything at this point. So I do have a couple of haunted dolls. I've got a pair of spectacles, a razor, an old-time razor that they probably would have used back in the 1900s, maybe even earlier. And then I've got the remnants of a necklace, and I'll talk about that in just a second here too. It's basically a beautiful cross. So let's start with haunted objects. So let's see. I'm going to stop sharing this so you guys can see these. Okay. So, all right, we've got the haunted objects. This is one of the haunted dolls. As you can see, she looks very, very happy. She's got these beautiful blue eyes. And essentially, I got this doll, about, 8 or 9 months ago, maybe a little longer than that now. And I got her from a thrift store down here in downtown Bryan. I had been looking for a haunted doll for a long period of time. I picked up hundreds of different dolls, and they just didn't have the right vibe to them. Now, I'm not saying she's 100% haunted, I do think there is something possibly attached to her. Now, when you have, haunted items, they don't always have a spirit attached to them. Sometimes they just have energy attached to them. But I believe that this one actually has a little girl attached to her. When I was talking about her a little while ago, before I deleted that last podcast, there was a shadow in the doorway here that peeked around the corner. You could actually see like a silhouette. I should have saved that. But keep an eye in the doorway right here. Sometimes you'll see like a very small shadow peer around the corner. I think she's a little shy, which is fine. We'll invite her in a little while. After the podcast, I'll probably do a quick video where I'm going to use the spirit box, the new spirit box we just bought, this thing, and we'll have maybe a whole conversation with her. That could either be a short video and or a long video. Again, I'm going to be shooting a lot more shorts. So let me talk about her a little bit. She's got a very positive energy. If you're listening on the audio podcast and you want to watch this video, again, we're on Rumble, we're on YouTube and TikTok. I'm probably going to start putting shorts on TikTok again. But I'm pretty sure TikTok is done for. I think it's going to get removed. And I'm hoping they don't just go after everything. But anyways, so I believe she has. Okay, guys, listen back for that. Sometimes during our podcasts, we get EVPs, and one of these days I will play the EVPs for you guys, and you guys can see them. We'll do a video on it. Maybe that'll be another short or whatever. But anyways, all right, so let's get back to this. I'm going to try and stay on topic. So, like I said, I think she's got some kind of a little girl attached to her. I got goosebumps. Ooh, yeah, she's very positive. She's very loving. She's a sweet young lady, I think, or a little girl, I should say. I could call her a lady, but she's a sweet young girl, and she seems very playful, a little shy, and she seems like she just enjoys being here. If you look around our office, one of these days we'll do an office tour. I've got toys pretty much everywhere in this office. I collect Star Wars stuff. Amanda collects Star Wars stuff. And so we've got toys basically around our office. So what little kid wouldn't enjoy being in here? You know what I mean? And there's dreidels and stuff over there and a few other things, some farting slime. I'll have to go through that with you guys another time. But anyway, so yeah, she's got a real positive vibe. I think she's got a really cool vibe. And we have tried to do a spirit box session with her before, but with that other spirit box, it was a lot of this one here doesn't have the white noise. Voices just come through. So Amanda was actually saying, and we've only used this a couple of times for a very short period of time. We haven't done a whole lot of testing with it at this point. The reviews are still coming in, if you will. We're still reviewing it. We're still trying to see if that's going to be something we're going to use in the future. If you didn't know, with the show that I'm putting together, the paranormal show, it'll be mainly Bigfoot research, but we will still go after ghosts and haunted locations and demonic activity and stuff like that. I'll talk about all that a little bit at the very end. If you're interested in being part of the show, I will leave my information down below for you guys to contact me, and I can kind of fill you in on what's going on. Anyways, like I said, I want to keep moving. I want to keep to the point. All right. So, sorry, it's hard to see. This creepy little girl, I got her at a house, actually. Somebody was having like an open house where they were selling everything, selling books and dolls, and mainly books and dolls and other things like that, toys. And so I saw her, and I had gone through it was just basically a tote of old dolls, and I picked her up and went, oh, I went, oh, okay. So she is a little bit more assertive, if you will. She has more of a stronger vibe. I get the feeling from her that maybe somebody a little bit older, maybe a teenage girl had her, and maybe she was more of a like a display thing, but she was very feels like she was very loved. She is very loved here, and this doll looks like she's a little older than the other one. I could be wrong. I'm not a doll historian or anything. I'm not an expert on dolls, but she just seems to have a stronger energy, more of a aggressive energy, if you will. What I want to do is I want to have a spirit box session with her and see what, if anything, comes out of her, and see if we can kind of get to know her a little bit better. When I pick the other doll up, I get like a real happy vibe. I get a like a energy, positive energy coming out of her. This one, when I pick her up, my hand starts to burn a little bit, and then it burns all the way down through my arm into my elbow. And she just feels, um, like I said, more assertive, more aggressive, more like leave me alone kind of doll. I would imagine if we could get her to talk, or the spirit that's attached to her to talk, or the energy that is attached to her to somehow communicate with us, it would be more like, more serious, if you will, maybe not so playful, and it would probably be a little bit more towards the adultish side, I would imagine. She just seems like she has more of a serious energy to her, more of a I just want to be left alone type energy. So I'm going to put her back down. I don't want to disturb her too much, and we'll put her back over where I had her. It's creepy because I feel like she's staring at me. This other one has a happy face. This one just like, it's just the eyes are creepy. Amanda doesn't like that doll. All right. Spectacles. Got these in Huntsville. Um, was walking through an antique store. We went through several that day and picked these things up. These are theater glasses, is what I think they call them. Now, if you're an expert on these, you're going, nope. That's fine. Feel free to comment down below. And these things just feel like they have a more of a fun vibe. Whatever could be attached, or whatever energy is attached to these, I believe, has more of a um, just relaxed, fun, enjoyment vibe. Whoever had these really enjoyed going to events where they could use these and stuff like that. So again, not necessarily haunted, but it definitely has an energy to it. Again, another item. This is a razor. See if I can pop this open without messing this up again. All right, so you got a razor, an old time razor. You can see, let me if I can keep this on. There we go. Okay, so you got the razor itself, the head of the razor. You got the other part screws on so that you can use it, and then the silver or the kind of goldish box actually has real razors, so you can actually use this razor. This was actually used by somebody. You can see the inside of the box is well used. This probably was an expensive item back in the day, probably from the early 1900s. Somebody of wealth probably had this, because I don't think it's gold. I think it's copper. It is pretty heavy. The box is, and the items are too, but I think they're more copper than gold. Anyways, so this little tin seems to have some kind of energy as well. I kind of pick up on a man with this, and oh, there you go. Shadow just looked in here. Thank you. We appreciate you. Feel free to come stand in the doorway if you want. Would love to see you. All right, so what I'm looking at is in the doorway it would be it'd be my right side, your left side, right here, right by where the light switch is. Something just appeared around the corner. Anyways, so yeah, this seems to have some kind of energy as well. I don't know if it's actually haunted by anybody. But sometimes items like this, people that really loved things may have attached itself to it. And we do have a male entity here. So I don't know if he's attached to that. We did have a male voice come through on the podcast, and I didn't actually hear it until I was listening back to edit the podcast audio. And I went, oh, couldn't find it on the video. It was really hard to find on the video. But if you're ever listening through our audio podcast, listen for, or even our video, listen for things that, if I'm not talking and you hear a voice, there could possibly be something there. Now, our house is not haunted. Okay. There is activity that happens sporadically. What I've set up here, I've set up a boundary. I've told these spirits they're okay to be here, but they have to stay in the office. Now, like I said, our office, we've got all kinds of different cool toys and stuff in here for the kids. And the adults can basically just hang out and chill and whatever else. So, okay, another possible item that has some energy to it. I'm not saying it's haunted, but I am saying it does have some energy to it. When you pick this up, you get a vibe. Somebody just really loved this necklace. It used to be a necklace. When Amanda picked this up from a house auction where somebody had passed away. Oh, I should have showed you. I should show you guys the dragon. Also, I forgot of that. Anyways, so this item, basically, I saw this immediately, and I just felt like it had something attached to it. And so when Amanda picked it up out of the bag it was in to hand it to me, immediately the cross fell off. And I went, oh. So I don't know what she did with the necklace, but essentially I picked this up and I'm like, yep, that has some kind of energy to it. Somebody has put some kind of energy on this, and essentially it is essentially something I like. I love crosses. I kind of collect them. Most of the time I bless them first and then I hang them up and around the house. Mainly because if you watch that short, this video is short, I'll show you guys which one it is in just a second here. Let me go back to the Deep Woods Paranormal YouTube page, and this will be on Rumble too. I've been told by a lot of people that they preferred Rumble over YouTube. So everything that goes to YouTube goes to Rumble. And we're getting a lot more views over there than we are here, which is fine. We appreciate you guys so much. We can't thank you enough for liking, subscribing, and giving our videos thumbs up. So anyways, this video here, it's actually, you can go watch this now. It's on our YouTube channel. It's not yet on our Rumble page, but it says paranormal activity, ghosts, and demonic activity in the house. Let me talk about that video just for a second. This is a short. What had happened was I had been scratched and I woke up with, let me go back. Let me stop sharing my screen here if I can figure out how to do it. Oh, am I still sharing my screen? Oh, crap. Okay, hold on a second. Let me try that again. Let me try this again. Okay, so this video here, I'm sorry. I thought I clicked on here. Anyways, this video here, like I said, I already described it, so I'm not going to go back into it. I'm trying to keep things moving forward. So anyways, I had been scratched when I got up that morning to go do my thing. And when I looked in the mirror, I literally had like finger marks, like a thumb on one side and three fingers on the other. You could see there's a bruise on my neck. And I'm like, okay, I don't remember being choked in the middle of the night, but okay. And so I said, whatever's here, you're not welcome here. And I think I irritated the hell out of it. So I'm actually pretty happy with that, to be honest with you. I hope I pissed it off. Excuse my language. Anyways, with all the crap it does to me. Anyways, there's just one entity that messes with me constantly. And I don't know if it's an interdimensional being or if it's some kind of demonic entity. So essentially, what led up to this video was after I got scratched and I realized I had finger marks on my throat, which I didn't take a picture of. A man is like, you got to take a picture of that. I don't like to share those kind of things with you guys. Number one, I think it's negative. Number two, I don't want this entity, whoever it is, being able to come after anybody else but me. If it wants to mess with me, go for it. I'll take it on. That's fine. I don't want it messing with anyone else. You know, um, and if you haven't dealt with demonic activity, or you're a non-believer, or you're skeptic, that's great. I hope that you honestly never, ever have to deal with anything like that ever in your lifetimes. Um, because of my extensive removing of negative entities or demonic entities, whatever you want to call them, things from homes that were trying to hurt people. Let's just put it that way. Um, that's left a target on my back. So, anyways, this thing likes to mess with me all the time. It moves things around, it knocks things off. I always say, something always has to fall. It's the dumbest thing ever. Something gets knocked. I've had things knocked out of my hand and whatever else. Things disappear, basically, for whatever reason. So I don't like to talk about this stuff, but anyways, so what had happened was I had a doctor's appointment. I have my hearing screwed up because of my trucking days where I basically slept behind I slept behind a refrigerated trailer, and so essentially, you wouldn't just get one truck parked at a truck stop. You'd have two or three guys next to you, and they'd all have refrigerated trailers as well. So you wouldn't just be hearing the sound of your refrigerated truck, you would be hearing theirs as well. So it was basically like a rock band playing as you're trying to sleep back in that cab. And the cab's pretty thin. You can hear people talking outside and stuff for the trucks. Anyways, so yeah, essentially I had a doctor's appointment to go get my hearing checked again. And I had my hearing aids. I had put them in their special box that charges them, and I'd set them on the little tray table. And I walked away. I think I went to go to the restrooms. I came back, they were gone. And I spent hours looking through the whole house trying to find those everywhere I'd been. I called Amanda. I'm like, what the heck? They're gone. And my hearing aids are super important to me because I can hear without them, but I can't understand what people are saying half the time. It's like gibberish. Anyways, so yeah, basically a long time ago, let me backtrack just a little bit. A long time ago, my wallet also went missing. And it's funny because about 6 months ago, no, it was about 3 or 4 months ago, I was we have an L-shaped couch. And because we have dogs, it sits like 10 or 12 people or whatever it sits. We have a nice sized living room. But the dogs like to stuff toys and bones and whatever else under there. And so also we need to clean under there every once in a while. So I was pulling it out to vacuum back there and take all the dog stuff out, and I find my wallet in the same exact place I found my hearing aids, by the way, the box for my hearing aids with my hearing aids in them. So essentially, yeah, I looked through the couch. I looked everywhere thinking that maybe the dogs had taken them. They had not been outside. And finally, I on my hearing aids, I can find my hearing aids with my phone. It'll track them down. It'll tell me the general location. The location kept bouncing around from the kitchen to the office to the bedroom, to outside. And then finally it showed right next to the couch. I went, oh. So I pulled the couch away, and of course they were, which was extremely frustrating. So if you're looking for haunted objects, I just have to say I've been against haunted objects most of my paranormal career. I've always said, stay away from them. I've removed paranormal objects from people's homes. I've always gotten rid of them. I've never kept them. Or if I have, they've always gone under lock and key in a place where they can't hurt anybody or do anything to anybody. Mainly when we lived in Lake Forest, California, they stayed out in my shed. One of our clients had a doll, like I just showed you a minute ago, but there was something really wrong with it. I mean, this thing had a very large, shadowy figure attached to it, and I'm pretty sure it was. I'm going to say it's negative or demonic or just wanted to harm people, mainly the daughter. It was after the daughter trying to get her to trust it, and so we removed it from the house. She actually ended up, I don't know what she did with it. She got rid of it somehow. Anyways, so let's get back into this. So these dolls, like I said, they have different types of energy. Like I said, the blonde doll that I showed you originally, she's more, like I said, playful and fun, and her energy is way more positive. The little girl with the red dress on and the white little coverall and the brownish hair with the creepy black eyes. And I'm sorry, hon, I don't mean anything bad to you. Um, I think you're awesome. I don't think that you're bad in any way. But she's, like I said, she's got more of that serious vibe. And the other objects that I've collected over the years, I've been very careful about selecting those things. I'm I've been doing this for so long. I've experienced paranormal activity my whole life, 47 years. And the more I kind of research and stuff like that, the more I've experienced. Let's just put it that way. And so I can kind of walk into a location or pick up something or hear something or feel something and know uh, kind of what its intentions are. And these items sitting in front of me here, they don't have a bad intention. Here, let me do this for a second. Okay, so let me also share so you guys can watch that hallway while you listen to me talk. Okay, so I'm up here. I'm going to move myself down. Let's see, I'm going to move myself over by the door. Okay, so I'm up in the upper left corner here if you want to watch me. But essentially this, okay, so here's the office door, and then you go out and the garage door is actually right here, and then there's a bathroom door and another bedroom over here, and then our living room straight out here. So I don't know if you can see, I should have grabbed the dragon too. We picked up, let me go grab him. Ooh, static electricity. Oh boy. Okay, so it's moving with me. Yep, it moved with me. Okay, let me move this back. All right. So here's another haunted object. Let me stop sharing this for a second. Okay, so let me show you this one. This thing's really cool. I think it's some kind of a bookmark. There was actually two of them, but Amanda didn't want me to grab the other one. She, somebody else had an eye on it and wanted it as well. We picked up this again from a estate sale. I don't know what happened to the gentleman, but he had passed away, and they had a lot of cool stuff in there. A lot of Japanese or Korean or Chinese or some kind of different culture than what I'm used to. And so essentially, we went in and we were able to look around and get some cool things. This being one of them. So this seems to have some kind of energy to it too. This could be where that male entity comes from. The EVP we got that's super clear, and I'll have to show you guys that on a maybe a video short. This I'm pretty sure has some kind of a male entity attached to it. Maybe the owner of it basically love this thing. I love this thing. I think it's cool as hell to have a cool looking dragon like this. But anyway, so yeah, this thing seems to have its own vibe as well. Again, positive male entity possibly attached to it. That's what I call my haunted object table. and stuff like that. So I'm going to set this down too. So now we've got all this stuff. Another object that I picked up from an estate sale, also when we lived in Lake Forest, California. There was a priest that passed away. And so I took one of his, not his gowns, but one of the thralls. I forget, I don't know what they're called, but it's purplish in color. And when I first picked it up, I could feel his energy. He had like an angelic energy to him. And so I grabbed that and I'm like, okay, I want this. There was another one too. I think there was a green one, but I didn't realize that that purple one is one of the ones that they use for exorcisms. When the priest comes in and he's in his robe and stuff like that, and he's got the things that come around the front of him with the religious symbols on them. If it wasn't in my kit, my holy water kit and protection kit, I would grab it. Anyways, that also seems to have a very positive vibe. I don't think he's really attached to that anymore. I think he unattached himself, unfortunately. Oh, you guys see the shadow? Look at the door. Oh, something's peeking around the corner. Yep. Looks like a little kid. Maybe a man, actually. So the light socket's only about, 3 or 4 feet tall. Whatever I'm seeing is just about where the top of this hat is. Right about here. And it's just peeking around the corner. Next time I walk over there, I think I'm about this hat. I'm 6'2". So, anyways, sorry, not trying to distract you guys or distract myself, but there is activity happening behind me. So if you're listening on audio podcast again, you can go down in the links down below. You can find our video podcast, either Rumble or YouTube. So yeah, haunted objects, you have to be super careful when you select them. Like I said, I've been doing this for so long that I can kind of tell the energies of things. Now, that being said, you got to be careful. Even me, I have to be careful. There's a lot of people out there that are like me that can walk in and tell you different things about an object just by picking it up. What energies were left on it, possibly what happened to the person. They can tell you, a bunch of stuff about that object. Me, I can just kind of feel the energies of them. But that being said, you have to be super careful because you just never know if something's pretending to be something it's not. And that's the danger of having haunted objects. You can go online and you can pick up these items and all of a sudden, you're in trouble. You don't even realize that, this is just supposed to be for fun. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, you've got some very negative things going on in your house. People getting hurt or scratched or whatever, or maybe somebody's attitude has changed for the worst, or maybe things just start to happen in the house that or whatever, wherever you have the item, and maybe things start to happen that you don't like. Maybe things start to manifest in some way, like a poltergeist activity where like cupboards will fly open. Don't touch me, please. Sorry, I feel a hand on my side. Don't really like to be touched. Yep, I saw you. So if you watch this doorway, you'll see something continually peeking around the corner. It's just a black silhouette, but basically it has a form of what looks like kind of a human face and head, and no defined features, unfortunately. But anyways, like if I was a silhouette and I like darted in kind of like this or ducked in kind of like this, that's what I keep saying. Something's just being kind of just watching. So anyways, yeah, so you got to be really careful with haunted objects. I've met several people that are ghost hunters or whatever, They're very knowledgeable of the paranormal, and they've gotten these items, and it's ended their career. They just wash their hands of everything. They get rid of everything, their gear, all of their stuff. Anything that has anything to do with the paranormal, they just get rid of it. And that's happened, unfortunately, two or three times to people I've known that were really good in the paranormal, and it really sucks. So I just want to issue you guys a warning. If you're not careful, bad things can happen, if you will. So, yeah, I mean, I just wanted to talk about these today. Do you have a haunted object? Would you like to come on to the show and talk about it? We'd love to have you. Either if it's just audio or video, we'd love to have you share your experiences with your haunted object, and talk about where you got it, and kind of like I did, talk about everything about it and tell us all about it, and go from there. Like I said, I've set up a boundary. I told them they can't leave the office. Now, whatever's in the hallway, I don't mind if they're out in the hallway. I've told them, number one, you can't hurt anyone or anything, the dogs or anything else. Number two, you can't scare anyone, especially not the dogs or the cats. You have to be respectful, and we're respectful towards them. We try and be respectful as we can with the haunted objects. And then three, you can't, like I said, if you leave the office, you can't come, mess with us in the middle of the night, while we're trying to sleep. You have to let us sleep and not bother us unless you absolutely need to communicate with us. And sometimes that does happen. Since we've had this little doll here, I've seen a little girl that actually looks a lot like her, believe it or not. Blonde hair, blue eyes. She's only about, I would say she's only about 4 feet tall. And essentially she'll come in and she's just like a clear silhouette, but I can see what she looks like. She doesn't have the same dress on. She has more of a apron on, like more like this one. But her dress, I believe, is like in blue in color, not this color. And she does have something like this, and I think she's got like the baby doll shoes. These are, I don't know what kind of shoes these are, but anyways, so yeah, she's got just, she basically is just kind of coming in to watch, I guess. She comes in, and I've kind of put my hand into her, and I can feel her energy. It's nothing negative, and she's just kind of curious. Okay, I swear that doll just shook her head yes. So I feel like she's gonna turn and look at me in a second here. So yeah, she came in and basically hung out for a little while, and I think actually Shorty, our little miniature, not in the miniature, but he's got like the Doberman look, and he's sensitive to spirits, I believe. And he kind of looked up and started growling, and so yeah, I mean that could be a good podcast too. Maybe next week we'll talk about animals and the paranormal. But if you have a animal that picks up on paranormal activity, again, I would love to talk to you about it. Have you share your experiences and introduce us to your animal. That'd be cool. So again, this podcast, I just want to make sure everybody knows, because we have so many new listeners and viewers on Rumble and YouTube and stuff like that. We're growing like crazy. So I just want to thank you guys, number one, for subscribing, liking the channel, and hitting that notification bell, because we do produce videos at least 3 or 4 times a week. And we're going to be mixing in more stuff from here on out, more content, maybe some shorts. And then once I start getting this show put together, you'll start to see more longer videos as well. But that'll be more like a TV show that you see on TV. And I've heard all the, everybody's told me, they don't like it when they do this. I don't like it when they do that, which is fine. It's very helpful. I appreciate the feedback, and I'm going to do my best to make this show kind of different than everything else out there. It's going to be kind of a mixture of several different shows, different ideas, and stuff like that. Once the show starts getting put together, I will talk about it more. I kind of talked about the other day, and it kind of, I think people just kind of had got turned off by it. So I don't want to talk about that too much. If you'd like to know more about the show, again, my email, my cell number, and again, all the links to everything are down below on anything that you're watching or listening. You feel free to contact me if you'd like to be on the show. Again, feel free to contact me. We're always looking for guests for the paranormal podcast and stuff like that. I think I'm going to try and do the Dogman podcast tomorrow. We're going to kind of start out with that, and then I think we'll go into. We might not do cryptid creatures anymore. I think we're going to be a little bit more specific. And on this podcast, I think we'll do. This podcast basically covers anything and everything. But we have the Bigfoot only. We have the cryptid podcast. We have the paranormal news. We have Amanda's ghost stories. We have basically, I used to call it anything goes, but I just call this the paranormal podcast now. This usually comes out on Mondays. And then we also have, what's the other one that we have? So yeah, basically, we have, I think, 5 or 6 different podcasts that we do. Now they kind of rotate. So Fridays, I try and do the Bigfoot only podcast. Saturday, I try and do either a cryptid podcast or paranormal news. And Sunday, I try and get out something else. So Amanda hasn't really done her ghost stories for a while. So I think you're going to actually see her come back soon. She's doing some really cool things and she's feeling better about herself. So I think hopefully she'll be coming back on here to share stories and stuff with you again so soon. So, anyways, this is getting a little long. I'm going to let you guys go, and we will catch you on the next one.